We are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, 10th chapter, text number 42. Atava bahu naitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena sthito jagat athava or bahuna many etena by this kind kim what gyatena by knowing tava your Arjuna, O Arjuna, Vistabhya, pervading, Aham, I, Idam, this, Kritsnam, entire, Eka, by one, Amshena, part, Sthita, am situated. Jagat, universe. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. But what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by His entering into all things as the Supersoul. Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein because even the greatest demigod, the greatest demigods like Brahma and Shiva represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born and no one is greater than Him. He is Asamurdva, which means that no one is superior to Him and that no one is equal to Him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of His partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees therefore concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great acharya under the disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yat Shakti Leshat Suryadya Bhavantyatyugra Tejasaha Adamshena Dritam Vishwam Sa Krishna Dashame Archate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion the whole world is maintained. Therefore Lord Sri Krishna is worshipable. Thus end the Bhakti-Vedanta purpose to the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yanam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manabhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Mandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutavad Kamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaganvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikaganta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaudangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Atava bahuna itena kim gyatena tavarjuna vistabhyaham vidam krishnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself I pervade and support this entire universe. So, in this chapter, Krishna explained to Arjuna about his opulences. And in the beginning of this chapter, as Prabhupada also explains, that devotional service to Krishna is supreme, and is explaining Aham sarvasya pavo mata savam pavatati timatva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So he's explaining that the intelligent person, they will understand that Krishna is the source of everything, that everything is coming from me. So these are called as the nutshell verses, the essence of the Bhagavad-Gita in this 10th chapter. And then he's explaining Machita Matkata Prana Bodhe Antaparasparam Katyansham Tam Tushyanti Charamanti Cha. The devotees, they feel great pleasure in discussing about these transcendental subject matters amongst each other. And he's explaining Tesham Satari Yuktanam Vajatam Pritipurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mama Payantite, that those who are constantly devoted to them, those who are constantly devoted to me, to them I give the knowledge by which they can come to me. And then he's explaining that also in the last one, that I'm giving this knowledge, which is like a torchlight, which is dissipating the darkness of this material world, or the darkness in the heart. So Krishna is very merciful. So he's helping the devotee in making advancement. He himself situated in the heart. As the Supreme Lord has explained here throughout the Bhagavad-Gita and explained in the scriptures. So Krishna is all pervading. At the same time, he's situated in the highest realm in Golok Vrindavan, performing his wonderful pastimes with his eternal associates. And then he's expanding himself unlimitedly practically. So first in Mathura and then Dwarka, and then all the Vaikuntha planets are there, and in each planet Vishnu Murti is there, and these are all expanded forms ultimately of Krishna. And then the Purushavatars are there, and then Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, as Prabhupada is indicating here. And so the partial expansion of the Lord is entering into everything, into everyone's heart, even in the atoms. That is the super soul, the Paramatma. So Krishna is everywhere, all pervading, and everything is situated in Krishna. So therefore here it is also explained that everything which is wonderful is simply a manifestation of Krishna. And therefore Krishna himself is helping us so that we can remember him all the time. And first of all, by performing his wonderful pastimes. Therefore he came himself 5,000 years ago and performed these wonderful pastimes to attract the fallen conditioned souls, so they may come to the shelter of his lotus feet, so they may surrender to him, so they may then engage in his service and become perfect and then take part in his pastimes. So himself, he has come in his original form, Swayam Bhagavan. And then he has given the instructions, as here in the Bhagavad-Gita. So that of course, that is Vasudev Krishna, son of Vasudeva and Devaki, the expanded form of Yashodanandan, Nandanandan Gopinath. So first of all, he performed these wonderful pastimes to attract the living entities, and then he is also giving guidance of how to perform devotional service, how to advance in spiritual life. So throughout the Bhagavad-Gita, so direct instructions. First of all, that we have to understand we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So that is the first thing we have to understand, that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But then we have to practically realize, which is not so easy, but only by following the instructions, by taking shelter of the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna, and then of course the spiritual master is telling us to surrender to Krishna. And with the guidance of Krishna from within and from outside, from the spiritual master, and by following the process, not simply by hearing the instructions, but then by following the instructions, and then by performing devotional service, gradually the consciousness is purified, and then one will see our own self as being different from this material body, from the consciousness also, the material consciousness. So we are completely different from, not only from the gross body, but also from the subtle body. The gross body is made of 5 elements, material elements: earth, water, fire, air and ether. And the subtle body is made of the material mind, the material intelligence, and then the false ego, or the conception that I'm a person of this material world. I'm a man or a woman, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm this or that. So many identifications are there, but the real identification is that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. So therefore, if one is not aware of that, so that is known as false ego. The false ego, not the real ego, that I'm Swiss, I'm Indian, I'm French, I'm German, I'm American. So that is the bodily identification. Of course, being in this world, to some extent, we have to also have this identity and understand, or we have to even say to others, yes, I'm born in this place and I have a passport of whatever country it is. So to some extent, so we have to say that, and we have to identify with that. And even as a devotee, so somebody will ask what service you are doing. Then somebody will say, well, I'm a book distributor, I'm the president of the temple, I'm a pujari. So that is there, but the real position is that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, beyond this material world, this material body. So, and that we have to realize, that is the real I, that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, having a transcendental form, Satchidananda Swarup, an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge, being part and parcel of Krishna, who is the original, who is the supreme being. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigrana Deradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna is the supreme being. He has a transcendental body. And we are part and parcels of him, so we therefore also have a transcendental form, which is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. But Krishna is Vibhu, is great, and we are Anu, we are infinitesimal. So the Lord is never conditioned and is never under illusion, whereas the living entity becomes illusioned, being in this material world in contact with the external energy of the Lord. But then the Supreme Lord Krishna desires that we come to our senses, that we understand our real position, our real ego, and engage in the loving devotional service and transcendental loving exchange with him. But not by force, by love. Krishna is not forcing anyone. So therefore, so he actually made this creation, and then is giving the living entity the choice, either to serve him or to be in this material world, trying to be independent. So the living entity has the choice. So those who are intelligent, so they will serve Krishna, because that is the natural position, is to serve Krishna. Jivera sopoi Krishnera nityadas. We are the eternal servants of Krishna. That is our nature, our real nature. So in conditioned life, the living entity is not aware of that. So therefore the Supreme Lord is coming and giving these instructions, or he is sending his representatives, so by which we can understand our real position, by which we can follow the process, so that we may realize our real position. So in this chapter, so is helping the sadhaka, the devotee practicing, to understand that the Supreme Lord is all-pervading, and that he can be seen even in this material world, as explained in this chapter. And so we have to train ourselves, and we have to try to see Krishna always. Smartavya satatam Vishnur vismatavya najatu chit sarva vidhi nishedya sur etayore kinkaraha. So many rules and regulations may be there, but most important is that we should always remember Krishna, or Vishnu, the Supreme Being. Of course that is not so easy, and we have to practice to be able to remember Krishna. So it has to be constant endeavor, constant practice, so that we may be able to remember Krishna more and more. So to see Krishna directly, or also see that Krishna is everywhere and everything is related to Krishna. So if you see the sun or the moon, then as explained here, so these are considered to be the eyes of the Supreme Being. Of course here the universal form is described also, which is a partial expansion of the Lord, which may help us to remember that the Lord is all-pervading, that He is everywhere. or is explained here so many beautiful ways that how we can see the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So even indirectly, directly and indirectly, we have to try to see Krishna. As explained here, or even in the Bhagavatam. So in there, in the 4 nutshell verses, Krishna is speaking to Lord Brahma, and there is explaining Jnanam param guhyam me yad vijnanam samandvitam sa rahasyam tadangascha gnana gaditam mama. So he's explaining to Lord Brahma, so I'm giving you this knowledge, jnana, param guhyam, which is most confidential. Yad vijnanam samanvitam, and I'm giving the realization also. Vigyan, there's jnana and vigyan, the knowledge and the realization. First we get knowledge, oh yes, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. But then we have to realize, practically. And then so he's explaining, sa rahasyam tadangascha. So it is a secret, but I'm giving you all the limbs, all the process by which you can realize. Tad anga means a limb. So just like we're performing, there are different limbs of devotional service. Chosat anga, 64 limbs. First is Guru Pada Ashray, taking shelter of the spiritual master. And then he will tell us what to do and what not to do. And then he's explaining. So there Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, the 64 limbs. So by which we may progress in spirit life, we may become absorbed and realize the subject matter. So first the knowledge is there, jnanam, sambandha jnana, understanding the relationship with Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Being and we are part and parcels of Him. We are in this material world and we have to become liberated. We have to go to the spiritual world. So that is sambandha jnana. Understanding our relationship with Krishna, transcendental relationship. But then we have to perform devotional service, abhideya jnana. We have to practice in various ways, through these various limbs of devotional service. Various activities are there, hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, remembering Krishna, serving the lotus feet, serving the deities, glorifying the Lord, always in the mood that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. And then understanding that Krishna is our best friend and surrendering to Him. So in this way, when we do that, then we can realize the subject matter, practically speaking. So we can see ourselves as being different. We can realize Krishna's transcendental form. So directly. So therefore Krishna is telling to Brahma, so you please accept that. And you act accordingly. You have gotten this knowledge, and now you practice. And then it's explained to Lord Brahma, so before the creation I was, before the material manifestation was there, I was there, I'm always there. And now I'm here, and after everything is finished, then I will be here too. So this material world is non-permanent. Only sometimes it comes into being and stays for some time, but for us it is like we cannot even conceive, so long it is. Garvadaksha, Mahavishnu is there and then manifests in this material world. When it is manifested, and then he's breathing out. He's breathing, so exhaling, and then so many universes are emanating. And then he's inhaling, and all the universes are merging in his body. So he's exhaling, that is millions of years. We can hardly understand that, such a long time, and there is just one exhalation. And so he's breathing in and out for a long time. But then after some time everything is wound up. All the universes entered into Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu entered into Mahasankarshan, Vishnumurti, his expanded form of Mool Sankarshan Balram in Dwarka, who is an expanded form of Krishna and Balram in Golok Vrindavan. So this is just a fraction of eternity this material manifestation, totally insignificant. So but the absolute truth is unlimited and most wonderful, most amazing, and we are just a small fraction of that absolute truth, totally insignificant. But then by the mercy of the Lord we can understand some of this splendor by hearing from Krishna himself, as in the Bhagavad-Gita, from the devotees, or from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So then he's explaining to Brahma also that Toritatam yat pratiyeta. So whatever has a value, so if it is connected to me, it has a value. If it is not connected to me, it has no value. Tad vidyatmaya mayam yathabaso. So it is simply a reflection of the absolute truth. So real knowledge is if you understand Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. So otherwise everything else is material knowledge. It is simply a reflection of the reality. Vasta Vastu, the real thing that is Krishna. Vasta Vastu. And then devotional service, that is real life. Vastav Jivan. So we have to come to the real life, to the transcendental life, to the spiritual life. And then there again, also in this Chatushloki of the Bhagavatam, so then he's explaining to Brahma, I'm everywhere, I'm situated in everything, and everything is situated in me. So that should be understood. And then he's explaining in the fourth of these verses that we should try to see Krishna, we should look for Krishna directly and indirectly. We should directly try to see Krishna. His beautiful form, Shama Sundar, Navagana Shamam, Vibhujam Murli Dharam, Lasat Pitapatam, Ramyam Sarada Purushottamam. Krishna is known as Purushottam. There's Maryada Purushottam Ramchandra. And then there's Lila Purushottam, Krishna who performed wonderful pastimes. And then there's Prem Purushottam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving freely Krishna Prem. And actually only by the mercy of Mahaprabhu we can, in the age of Kali, we can rapidly advance in spiritual life and quickly become situated on the highest platform of realizing practically our transcendental nature, spiritual nature and relationship, and then we can engage in the transcendental loving exchange with Krishna, Krishna Prem. So but first you have to practice and indirectly and directly try to see Krishna and be constantly engaged in spiritual activities, abhideya, by performing the different limbs of devotional service. And then when we are fully absorbed and our consciousness is clear, then we can see ourselves, and then we can see Krishna, and then there's a loving exchange with Krishna. That is Prayojan Gyan, when we realize Krishna's Swarup and our Swarup. And then there's a loving exchange, and transcendental emotions are coming from the soul proper in loving exchange with Krishna. So that is the stage to be attained eventually. So but gradually, step by step, we have to see that we can advance towards the highest platform of pure devotional service, Uttam Bhakti, Prayojan. That is the necessity. The word Prayojan means also the necessity. That is ultimately the real necessity for the living entity to realize his relationship with Krishna. So we have to try to see Krishna as he is in his transcendental form. Shama Sundar, having two arms, playing the flute. Of course, sometimes Krishna is showing his four-armed form, or even the universal form he showed to Arjuna. And then he showed, but then Arjuna was saying, no, it is wonderful form, but he was a little afraid also. But he said, let me see your four-armed form. Just so that actually he wanted to see the two-armed form of Krishna. Because he had this relationship with Krishna, friendly relationship. Krishna was his best friend, his relative, best friend. And so that is most beautiful form, Dvibhuj Roop, is two-arm form. But then just to instill faith in the beginners or the materialistic persons, so first this universal form was shown, Virat Roop, but then he wanted Krishna to manifest his four-arm form, Chaturbhuj Roop, because those who are following the Vedic literatures, the Vaishnava literatures, they will understand that the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, is there and he has four arms. So therefore he wanted to see the four-arm form, to let everyone know that this is actually the Supreme Being, Krishna. But then, even higher than the four-arm form is the two-arm form of Krishna. Not even in Dwarka, Matra, but Krishna in Braj. So Arjun, so of course he wanted to see the form of his friend Parthasarthi. He was so kind as a Supreme Being, but he becomes the chariot driver of Arjun, driver, Sarthi. And especially in India, usually driver is that is a servant, he's the driver. So it is a kind of almost inferior position, but the Supreme Lord is even taking this humble position in order to reciprocate with his devotee. He took that position as a chariot driver, the driver of Arjun's chariot. But still, that was not diminishing his position. Because whatever position he is situated in is always transcendental and is always full in all circumstances. Sada Aishwarya Purna is always complete and perfect. And any time he can show all his opulences as the most beautiful, most strong, most renounced, most knowledgeable, most wealthy. So they're always present, all these qualities are there, unlimited qualities, always present in his personality. But he's taking, and so therefore he's also the most humble, most kind. So he became the chariot driver. So Arjun, so he wanted to see this two-arm form then, because that is most beautiful. Krishna when he's with Dvibhuj. But then even more beautiful than Krishna in Dwarka is Krishna in Vrindavan. Or even more beautiful than Krishna in Mathura, Krishna in Vrindavan. Murli Dharam, holding the flute. Lasat Pita Patam, wearing yellow dhoti, yellow chadar. And then performing pastimes with Srimati Radharani. Kasturi tilakam lalata patale vaksastale kaustuvam nasa grevara muktidam karatale venu kare kankanam sarvanga hari chandanam saritam kante chamuktavani gopastri pariveshtado vijayate gopala churamani. So therefore in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the devotees as shown by Mahaprabhu, they are searching for Krishna. Krishna in Braj, not Krishna in Dwarka Mathura. Krishna in Braj. The most beautiful, surrounded by the gopas and his friends and the cows and the calves, and then especially gopastri parivestito, by the damsels of Braj, the gopis, the diyamos, the most exalted of his devotees. And then so having his beautiful Tribang Lalit Sham Sundar form, his form bent in three places, wearing beautiful abhushan, decorations, and necklaces, and Vaijanti Mala, beautiful flower garland made with 5 kinds of flowers, and some tulsi manjaris are there, up to his knees, and sometimes even longer, almost up to the ground. And beautiful pearl necklaces, and then beautiful earrings are there, and then he has a beautiful crown or turban, in which he puts a peacock feather. So that form the devotees they want to see in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Krishna wearing these beautiful ornaments and garland, and being adorned with a Kasturi tilakam, dusk, the tilak made with the musk of the deer, very fragrant, and chandan is there. So that beautiful form, so that is the desired form which the Vaishnavas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya are trying to see directly. So by hearing about him, or then by worshipping the deities which are installed by the pure devotees, and Krishna is manifesting in this way, Archavatar, by his own sweet will, which is manifested through his pure devotees. So then Radha Shyama Sundar manifested, Krishna Balaram, Gonitai, so that we can see them every day, we can serve them every day, and then we can remember when we see, when we serve, then we can remember, then we can properly engage in devotional service. But then even indirectly we should try to see Krishna, as explained here. So when we see the sun and the moon, we remember also not only the eyes of the universal form, but we directly try to remember Krishna. Krishna's name is Krishna Surya. And is explained here also that the sun, so the effulgence of the sun, so that is actually coming from Krishna, from the Brahmajyoti, which is Krishna's effulgence. So the sun and the moon also, they are getting the light from Krishna. So therefore, even when we see the sun, or even those in the Vedic culture, they were chanting the Brahma Gayatri, Om Bhurbhuva Swa Tat Savitur Varenyam, ityadi. So meditating externally on the sun. But the devotees, they are not meditating only on the sun, but they are meditating on Krishna. And when they see the sun, they will see Krishna. And Srimati Radharani, the effulgence. Urja, Urjeshwari, Srimati Radharani. So that is then the devotee. So they is not only seeing the sun, but then they remember Krishna. Srimati Radharani, or the combined form of Radha Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they see the moon, again, Krishna Chandra, he's like the full moon, his face is like the full moon. And it is mentioned, just like one other Gayatri, the Kam Gayatri, which is also Krishna Sarup. So that there it is explained, so that it has 24.5 syllables. So which are considered just like, one syllable is just like the moon. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya, or Klim Kamadeva Vidmahe. So Krishna is a transcendental Cupid. So then his face is like a full moon, his cheeks are like full moons, the nails of his fingers are like full moons, and the toenails, they're also just like full moons. So when the devotees see the moon, they will remember Krishna Chandra, whose face is like the full moon, even more beautiful. The moon is beautiful, even the sun, but Krishna is more beautiful, unlimitedly more beautiful. So the devotees, they always try to see Krishna. They are reminded of Krishna. Or they see the tamal tree, which is blackish, darkish in color. So then they will remember Krishna, Tamal Krishna. Therefore Krishna's name is Tamal Krishna, just like the tamal tree. Or then during the rainy season. So now it is getting hot, and then very soon it will be very hot, and the devotees will be looking forward for the rainy season. And then the dark clouds are coming. And then again they remember Krishna. His name is Shyam Sundar, Mega Shyam. Mega, just like the cloud, the dark blue cloud. Then they will see the dark blue cloud, and they are reminded of Krishna, whose name is Mega Shyam, just like the dark blue cloud. Or also there is one verse, Dhyayen, we should remember, Navagana Shyamam, Navagana Shyamam, Shyamam, Navagana, who is just like a new, just at the beginning of a rainy season, when the new cloud is there, bluish black, Navagana Shyamam, so that is Krishna's form, is there. Again, there it is mentioned, yes, that Dvibhujam, then we remember Krishna with two arms, holding the flute. And then when the lightning is there, so we can remember the lightning is there, then we can remember Radharani, which is there, just like lightning. Or we remember Krishna's cloth. When we see the lightning which is there. And when we see the rainbow, so that we can remember Krishna's peacock feather, which has the different colors, almost like a rainbow also. So in this way the devotee, when he's seeing the material objects also, he will always remember Krishna or things related to Krishna. So here we are in Braj, it is easier. We see Govardhan Hill. Krishna's pastimes are there at Govardhan. He's lifting Govardhan Hill, Giridhari. Govardhana Dharan, Bande, we offer obeisances, Govardhana Dharam. To Krishna who is Gopalam, Gopal Rupinam. To Gopal, Krishna. Giridhari who is lifting Govardhan Hill with the left with the left hand, with the little finger of the left hand. Well, we know we have two hands. The right hand is usually a little stronger because we are doing things with that. The left hand is a little weaker. And of all the fingers, the weakest is the small one. But with Hare Krishna. So with the left hand, which is a little less strong, but of Krishna, for Krishna it doesn't matter, but still. And then the smallest finger, with the smallest finger, is lifting this huge hill. Govardhan Dharam Vande. So we offer respect to that Krishna Gopalam. To Gopal who is protecting the Gopas and the cows and the gopis, all the Brijbasis. So and he has the form of a gop also. Gopala Churamani, he is the crest jewel of all the Gopas. Although he is the supreme being, the source of everything, most powerful. But he appeared as a cowboy, 14 years old. Gokul Uttama Ishanam. So Ishanam is the Lord, but he's giving pleasure to all the Gokul Vasis, all the Brij Vasis. Govindam, and is known as Govinda, Gopika Priyam, is the dear. Gopika Priyam is very dear to the Gopikas, to the Gopis. Is the life of the Gopis, Prananath of all the Brij Vasis actually. So the devotees, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, they will always try to see Krishna and things related to Krishna. So they will see Krishna everywhere and everything in Krishna. Not only in Braj, they go outside of Braj, they go anywhere. America or Europe, and they see a river, they remember Yamuna. They see a hill, they remember Govardhan. They see a forest, Vrindavan forest. They will always see Krishna. Things related to Krishna, and then they will see Krishna. So in this way, so we have to directly, indirectly try to always see Krishna, especially Krishna in Braj. So that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, and he came to give this chanting of the holy names, the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But not only gave the Mahamantra, he gave also the process. And he gave the bhav, the mood, how to chant the holy name, in which mood. That is in Braj Bhav. Following the Brij Basis, how they were serving Krishna. In which mood. Ultimately even forgetting that Krishna is God. Krishna is my dearmost. But first we have to understand that Krishna is God and we are not this body and we are meant to serve Krishna. But then in purified consciousness, then we can forget God also and just love Him and see Him as our dearmost friend or the object of our love and affection. So we have to daily practice to become more and more absorbed, and by then we have to endeavor. But then we have to beg the mercy for the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the spiritual master, and Mahaprabhu and Krishna, so that we may become perfect. Hare Krishna. Yes. Any question? Yes.
At the beginning of Ishupanishad, it is explained that Krishna expands many times, and he is complete, and he remains complete.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Yes.
But in this verse, he explains that he creates all of this from a fragment.
Yes. Yes.
Now, none of the expansions of Krishna are described we don't think of Lord Rama as a fragment of Krishna. Is the use of the word fragment in this verse just poetic license to indicate how little energy that he has to expand in order to create the universe?
Yes, sometimes it is not so easy to describe everything completely with words. I think especially also in the English language, because the Supreme Lord is, yes, is unlimited, and whereas, for example, the languages in the material world has some limitations, especially, for example, the English language. Although it is also very beautiful, and we can see beautiful, and there's English poetry also, and we can see the beauty in any language also. There are many beautiful languages, and all the languages have some beauty also. But none of the languages are as rich as, for example, Sanskrit, which is known as the original of all languages ultimately. And of course then Krishna is speaking Braj Bhasha, and the language of Krishna, which is spoken in the spiritual realm, or in Vaikuntha planets they will speak Sanskrit, so that is much more rich, and therefore we can see that many times Prabhupada has explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, for example, the different words are given in relationship to the different bhavs of the associates of the Lord, like Kilakinchit bhav is explaining that is a certain bhav, and then Prabhupada has explained in some others also, there is no English equivalent to this word. And so therefore sometimes in Prabhupada he was mentioning something, and it may not be maybe not completely able to fully express what actually Prabhupada even wanted to say, or what Krishna wanted to say. So therefore here, I mean, he has mentioned, with a single fragment of myself I pervade this entire universe. So if you see the Sanskrit also, Vistabhyam, pervading Krishnam, this entire Jagat universe, Eka Amshena, so by one part. So here in the Sanskrit, Amshena, so that means part, Eka means one. So by one part I'm pervading this whole universe. So that is, of course, here also it is maybe referring to the Paramatma, which is the part of the part, Angsha. So, as for example, also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so the 4 nutshell verses are there, just like in the Bhagavad-Gita also. But then there's a single verse which is known as the Paribhasha Sutra. It is, this verse is like a thread. It is explained going throughout the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Or like we have a cloth, and there's a thread is going throughout the cloth from beginning to end. So this verse is explaining Ete cham sakala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is certainly the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, the original Personality of Godhead, and none is equal to him. So there is only one Swayam Bhagavan, that is Krishna, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none different than Krishna. All the other personalities of Godhead, they are addressed as Bhagavan, or maybe Purushottam, like Ramchandra Purushottam, but Swayam Bhagavan, that is only given to, only Krishna is addressed by Swayam Bhagavan. So there it is explained, Ete cha amsa. So the angsa are there, the different expansions are there. Pumsam, or the expansions of the expansions. So Krishna is the origin. And then we have Balaram, which is the expanded form, the first expansion, which is Balaram is practically non-different from Krishna, but still some difference is there. One is there, the color is different. Krishna is blackish and white, and Balaram is whitish. Of course, some other slight differences are there in terms of the pastimes which are performed. And for example, Krishna is playing the flute and he has a peacock feather. And whereas Balaram, he may also sometimes play the flute, or sometimes he may also put a peacock feather. But that is mostly ascribed to Krishna, that is playing this famous for Murlidhar, and that is playing the flute, and is having a peacock feather. And then of course his pastimes which are there, which are most excellent, super excellent, most wonderful in relationship, in the loving exchange with his devotees. So even Balaram, he has his, so he's taking part there in actually in the pastimes of Krishna. Everything is revolved actually around Krishna. Although Balaram is also the Supreme Being, but even he himself is thinking himself as the servant of Krishna. He wants to serve Krishna. As the elder brother, fatherly affection is there, as the best friend, and he wants to serve, and he's serving Krishna also. And even in the neutral relationship, he expanding himself as a Brajdham or as the bed of Krishna. So this is the expanded form of Balaram that is explained. Even in the conjugal relationship, so he's actually expanding as Ananga Manjari, which is Radharani's younger sister, which is expanded form of Balaram also. So, but Balaram is expanded form of Krishna, and is the Supreme Being, but is always in the mood also that I am the servant of Krishna. Therefore it is mentioned, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasara Britya. There's only one Ishvara, that is Krishna, everyone is servant. Even Balaram, although he is the Supreme Lord. And then you have in Dwarka, Vasudev Krishna and Shankarshan Balaram. They expanded of Krishna Balaram in Braj, Krishna and Balaram in Dwarka. So that is expanded form. And there's a name also given. So Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, and then the Swayam Prakash, Vaibhav Prakash. Technical terms are giving according to the fullness of the personalities which are there. Most complete and full, that is Krishna. Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And then Vasudev Krishna is there, so something less is there than Krishna in Braj. And then afterwards, from Balaram from Mul Shankarshan in Dwarka, then comes the Mahashankarshan. The second Chaturvyu, Vasudev Shankarshan, Pradumna and Yeruda, and they are Vishnu Murtis and they are expanding from Balaram. And then from Mahashankarshan comes Mahavishnu, then Gauradaksha Vishnu, and then comes Kiradaksha Vishnu. So they are the expanded form of the Lord. So therefore they are known as Anksha. And so here Prabhupada is saying that just one as explained in the Sanskrit, the Eka Ankshana, one part. For example, the Paramatma, Kshirodaksha Vishnu is pervading the whole universe, the whole material existence actually. So therefore Prabhupada, from the absolute point of view, so he's just translating here one fragment, which is, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, you may say, and so in comparison to Krishna, so the Super Soul is just one fragment, and everything is insignificant if you compare in comparison to Krishna. Even Vishnu or the Paramatma, who is situated in everyone's heart. But then Krishna is the source of Paramatma, is the source of everything. So just one part is pervading the whole universe. But even the whole universe actually is very insignificant. Although just to give some idea, it is explained 3-part Vibhuti. The spiritual world is 3 parts and the material world is 8-part Vibhuti, is 1 part. That is just to give some idea. But the material world is actually totally insignificant in comparison to the spiritual world. And it is only sometimes coming into being. And then other times it is not manifest. Then Pradhan is there. It is part of the spiritual sky, which is Krishna's effulgence. Krishna's effulgence, that is the Brahma Jyoti. So sometimes it becomes manifest by Krishna's will, and then some living entities are coming in there. So everything is just one fragment of Krishna. So Prabhupada is writing, or one part of Krishna. Fragment is maybe just to show how insignificant it is, as far as I can understand what Prabhupada is wanting to explain. One small fragment is just pervading, is maybe just to show. One part is something, but fragment is maybe even more insignificant than a part, as far as I can see. So Prabhupada is using that word here. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Something about Tamal tree in relation to Krishna.
Yes. Something about the Tamal Krishna in relation to Krishna? Yes, so the Tamal Krishna is darker in color. The Tamal tree. So therefore the gopis, when they sing a Tamal tree, they are reminded of Krishna. Because that is Krishna's color. And even sometimes Radharani, then when she's in feeling of separation, so then she's seeing the Tamal tree, then she's embracing the Tamal tree, wanting to embrace Krishna. So and then there's another tree which is then representing the Srimati Radharani, the Kadamba tree, that is considered then for us, so we can remember Radharani. So that tree is more light in color and it has very beautiful flowers. Two kinds of flowers are there. Different trees are there. Kadamba tree, one has small Kadamba flowers, greenish in color. The other one has a little bigger one, and they are golden brown in color. So that is helping us to also remember Krishna. And so as again here the example is there that so these are given so we may be reminded of Krishna. Of course, even the banyan tree is there, which is huge. It can take huge form, which is quite amazing also. And then it has the branches and then the roots which are going also from the branches. And some of the banyan trees are huge. So in this way the banyan tree is also considered a holy tree, and Krishna is saying, amongst the trees I'm also Vadbriksh, the banyan tree, that is also representing Krishna. So just again to help us to remember Krishna. So Tamal tree is famous and in Braj, and therefore the Krishna's name is also Tamal Krishna. So we can remember Krishna by seeing the Tamal tree, that is helping us to remember Krishna. And the gopis are there, and so they're actually the best example. And therefore it is mentioned we have to follow the mood of the gopis. So they were seeing in this way, so therefore we also see in this way. Like the gopis are seeing how they are thinking, how they are trying to serve Krishna or Madhya Yashoda. So it is explained, and Prabhupada is explained also in the Krishna book or Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, those who want to enter into the parental affection with Krishna, Vatsalya Bhav, they should carefully study the mood and the activities of Madhya Yashoda in order to also become perfect in their relationship with Krishna. So we follow the Brijbasis in order to become perfect, the eternal associates of Krishna and Braj. Either the friends, Sudam, Sridam, Madhumangal, or Madhya Yashoda, Nanda Baba, or the gopis, and the foremost amongst them, of course, Srimati Radharani, and then her associates, Lalita, Vishaka, and so on. So we hear about the pastimes, we study their pastimes, then our heart becomes purified, and then we'll be able to appreciate, and then we'll be able to follow the moods of the eternal associates of Krishna. And that is required in order to become perfect. Mahaprabhu himself has explained, as explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you want to go to Golok, then you have to adopt the process of Raganuga Bhakti. So that means following the eternal associates of Krishna and Braj, trying to imbibe the mood of the eternal associates of Krishna and Braj. Then only we can become perfect. There's no other way how to become perfect. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any more question? Yes?
You mentioned the beginning of the class that Krishna is the original Govinda, and then from his first expansion is Balaram.
Yes.
Then from Balaram comes Mool Sankarshan, and then they expand in Dwarka as Krishna and Balaram, which is Krishna as Vasudev and
Yes.
Balaram. So now my question is that the second is the portable expansion, which is from Narayan, and then we understand that all the incarnation comes through Shiva Dakashaya Vishnu. So
Yes.
Krishna also comes through that. So now that same Krishna who's coming in Vrindavan here, is he the same Krishna as Krishna originally?
Yes. No, he's the same Krishna coming from Golok directly.
And
Yes.
and Mahaprabhu is.
Yeah, and Mahaprabhu also is, they are directly coming. They are directly coming. Yeah. But all the other incarnations in the material world, they're actually coming from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, that is true. But not Krishna. Yeah, no, even Ramchandra Bhagavan, so he's also directly coming.
He's also direct.
Yeah, he's also directly coming. So that is only referring to other, most of the, even for example, yeah, most of the other ones, they're coming from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu.
So then,
Yeah, but
Ayodhya, they say, is in spiritual
there's,
Vaikuntha.
yes, in Vaikuntha Lok, Ayodhya is there. The spiritual realm, Ayodhya Dham is there. There's a planet where Ramchandra is residing, Ayodhya.
Yeah. But can you explain more as to why Lord Ram and, like, I understand Krishna as original Krishna.
Yes.
But then also Lord Ramchandra and not like Vishnudev or any other, because Lord Ram also takes a form of 4 arms when he goes back to Ayodhya, or is
No, he has 2-arm form. He's 2-arm form, yes. 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 So Lord Ram is also special. Therefore we have 3 Purushottam. Maryada Purushottam Ram, then we have Lila Purushottam Krishna and Prem Purushottam Mahaprabhu. So Ram is also special personality. Yeah. Yes. But most special is Krishna. Yeah. And most sweet. His pastimes. Yeah. Okay. Any other question?